Hello and welcome to CX Today. My name is Charlie and today I'm joined by Alain Mowad, Director of Product Marketing at Talkdesk. Alain, it's great to have you join us. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you join us to discuss a very critical topic for these times of economic uncertainty and a looming recession. And that is we're going to discuss how contact centers can cut costs and improve customer experience. So I was thinking maybe a good place to start with this is by first considering how contact centers usually cut costs, and that is through kind of reducing handling times and looking to cut contact volume, sometimes in maybe ways that aren't the most compelling in terms of customer experience. But I wanted to get a technology specialist opinion on this, and kind of, I was hoping you could share with me kind of how new innovations in AI are helping operations to achieve these aims, but perhaps a little bit more safely.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think when we think about cost cutting, a lot of times there's this misnomer, and I think that's just a historical thing where, hey, if we cut costs in the contact center, we're reducing service, and we're reducing, and as a result of that, we're actually impacting the customer experience negatively, right? Less agents, more people waiting on hold, just a poor customer experience overall. I think AI, we've reached an inflection point with AI now where AI can actually solve both those problems, right? It can solve, on the one side, it can solve the cost savings problem that a lot of contact centers are facing now. Everyone's facing. So contact centers are just part of, a larger issue where all these groups, departments, companies are trying to defend their budgets right now because they're looking, as we're looking at, uncertain economic times, as you said. And so how do I save costs? How do I continuously move the needle and bring my costs down while at the same time not only not impacting the customer experience in any way, but also improving the customer experience? And AI actually solves that, and it does it in a variety of different ways, from anywhere from automation, so taking a lot of calls or even digital communications, chat, SMSs, emails, and automating those interactions so an agent doesn't actually have to speak to a customer or communicate with a customer, and a customer actually gets their issues resolved quicker, all the way to, if communications do happen and you do have to speak to an agent, you do have to talk to a live agent, that the agents have all the assistance that they need, AI assistance. So that could be through knowledge management, that could also be through suggestions, etc., next best actions to allow the agent to quickly handle the customer's question or customer's inquiry, so that that issue gets resolved quickly. Customers happy, the agent's happy because they have everything at their fingertips. Customers happy because they get their issue resolved quickly.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of using conversational AI to kind of remove a lot of those maybe simple transactional contacts, but also supporting agents through. I think you gave a good example there of kind of using the knowledge base and how AI can work in there and kind of serving up knowledge to help them to help agents kind of combat more tricky contact types, and that will help both. I mean, the first conversational AI will reduce, and the agent assist will help to reduce handling time. So yeah, I think that's
Right.
particularly interesting. I was just wondering kind of how else maybe contact centers are incorporating AI into their everyday operations to lower costs and improve CX.
Yeah, they're looking at performance. So if you look at agent performance, for example, and quality management is another key area where contact centers are leveraging AI. In the past, without AI, if you were doing quality management, for example, it required human intervention, right? So it would have to be a contact center supervisor or a quality management subject matter expert that would have to get involved, or an analyst that would have to get involved, would have to go through all of the different calls, different interactions, even if they're chat interactions or what have you, and actually review them manually, score them. And so it's physically impossible for people to do that. You need an army of people, and it's just very difficult to do. And so typically in the pre-AI era, the way you would do that is by taking a sample, right? So maybe 3% of your interactions get recorded and get scored and then get reviewed. But that's not really a representative sample of what your contact center is handling today. And so with AI, AI allows you to actually to record and score all of your interactions and provide quality scores. And what that does is it allows analysts and supervisors and so on to take a closer look and say, well, where am I seeing gaps? Where am I seeing issues? Or where am I seeing opportunities for improvement? Because now I have a full sample. I see everything that's happening in my contact center. It allows me to better evaluate what's going on, to identify opportunities for improvement, and improving both agent performance, providing them with coaching opportunities, and also improving the customer experience. So that's another key area where we see contact centers leveraging AI, is in the quality management realm.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that also again can help to reduce handling times over time, because if agents receive better performance feedback, um, and also kind of can keep track of their performance through kind of new information always coming at them, because each contact is quality checks. I imagine that can also serve to not only reduce handling times, but also again to improve customer experience. So I think, yeah, it's another great example, as were the kind of conversational AI and agent assists. I was just wondering kind of what outcomes your customers have received received from following these cost saving tactics.
Yeah, customers have implemented our AI, across the board. So that's again, automation, agent assistance, quality management, quality monitoring, have seen a substantial improvement in the customer experience, and they see that through the CSAT scores, through NPS scores that they've done. They're also seeing definitely a reduction in handle times. And they're using, and the reason they are is because they are automating a lot more of the interactions that come into the contact center. If you think of the very common use cases, like I'm checking on an order, I need to change my flight. These are things that an agent really doesn't need to do anymore, right? This could be all automated, and it can be done quickly and effectively and painlessly for a customer, effortlessly for a customer, using AI. So you mentioned conversational AI. So in the voice side of things, being able to actually hold a conversation with a voice bot, in a way that it's very natural. It's easy. You get this responses you want. So if you think of a traditional IVR, press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this, and then people are just trying to figure out and navigate, and it takes them a minute just to get to the right resource. Finally, after going through that entire menuing, where you can manage that in a lot less time, because with conversational AI, they know who you are. So through identity, we have a product called Identity that allows them to use voice biometrics to authenticate the user right away. So that's literally seconds to do that. And then from there to say, okay, well, it looks like your flight is delayed. Do you want me to just reschedule your flight? Yes, please. And then literally in a couple of minutes, you've solved your problem, and you never have to speak to an agent. So you mentioned handle times, and one of the reasons that handle times are reduced is because less of those interactions, less of those calls, less of those chats, less of those emails are getting to an agent, and they're being handled through automation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it's a fascinating use case again there, kind of as you said, improving IVR processes through using bots to kind of gather information up front, and maybe to route contacts into various places. And again, there's loads of ways in what you've just said that contact centers can potentially improve customer experiences, and potentially cut costs in the process. Yeah, so I mean, we've talked a lot about kind of AI and various other innovations. I was just kind of wondering if you had any kind of final strategies that you could share with us that will help organizations cut costs in a customer-friendly way.
Yeah, I think the key is, when you're thinking about saving costs, think about how you can reduce. So the key things that cause that cause an increase in cost is, you have to get more agents because you have more calls. So reducing call volumes is going to be very key, right? And so that comes through the automation that we discussed earlier, right? It's through conversational AI and getting them to speak to a bot versus speaking to an agent. That prevents calls getting to an agent, but also doing things like call deflection. So most people today, if you look at the generational shift that we're facing here, with millennials and Gen Zers now, they are the majority of the working population globally, right? Not just in the United States, but globally. And so, and they prefer digital communication. So leveraging that as an advantage by deflecting calls to digital. And that has a couple of key advantages. One is they don't have to be on hold for an agent. They can actually get agents can handle many more digital interactions than they can handle call interactions. Just handle one call at a time versus handling multiple chats, emails, etc. And so getting to an agent quicker. Doing it in a much more user-friendly way, using chat or SMS, just digital interface. So deflecting to digital is key. Getting those handle times down, reducing the need for a larger pool of agents, just because they can handle more digital interactions. And then the other aspect of it is, if you think about digital, is taking a digital first approach to your contact center. Right, and encouraging people, showing them ways that you don't have to call us. You can email us, you can chat with us, you can send us an SMS message, you can reach us on Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. There's just providing a variety of different ways for people to reach out digitally. And then you can automate a lot of those interactions, but also if they do need to go to an agent, you can leverage all of the same tools, agent assistance tools, knowledge base, et cetera, so that the agents can help get their issues resolved quickly. And then again, agents have increased capacity. They can handle multiple interactions at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, lots of really great stuff there, Alan. It makes me think as well. Obviously, Talkdesk, you both yourself and a few of your colleagues as well are running this series of masterclasses with more guidance on how to cut contact center costs. Could you quickly just tell us about those masterclasses and where perhaps our viewers can register?
Sure. You can go to our website. We actually have a link that allows you to register for all of the master classes. I highly encourage you to do that because it's a series where we walk you through different aspects of cost savings and how to improve your CX. The first one was on AI and leveraging a lot of what we discussed today. Was in the first master class, so there's a lot more detail there. There's a couple of studies that were done, things like that. So I really encourage you to register for that and watch the on-demand webinar. And then the following master classes, there's one coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have one basically every month through January. And it's a progression of different tactics that you can use to save costs and improve CX. Not just leveraging AI, but other cost savings tactics, including our final masterclass, which will be on vendor consolidation. And how you can save, CTOs can actually save costs by consolidating the vendors that they use, either moving to a single vendor or moving to just a small group of vendors. It just makes it easier from a cost savings perspective. And then because all these vendors are very tightly integrated, a much better customer experience. So highly recommend that you go and register for this masterclass series. They're very informative and a lot of good information, including some follow-up assets and things that can be leveraged to support those masterclasses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that example there as well at the end that you gave of consolidation is another topic which we could definitely delve into as kind of us humans enjoy the path of the last of the path of least resistance. And how we're consolidating our tech stacks and saving money in the process is a fascinating subject. So yes, I would also recommend that all our viewers go ahead and watch those sign up for those 5 masterclasses and watch the first one on demand. But I think that's a great place to end today's chat. Thank you very much for joining me today, Alan.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, Charlie.
Excellent. And thank you also to all our viewers for watching. Bye for now.